Hi there, Zach from GawkBox here. It's been a super exciting week for us. We've done everything from an integration with Mix It Up to making your leaderboards and alerts a little bit faster and a bunch of other little tweaks like that. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about what we've been up to this week and in weeks prior, you can visit our blog. That's blog.gawkbox.com. And you can find all of the interviews that we do, all of the special events, and all of the GawkBox news there on that blog. But let's get down to business. Today we are talking to KingBaileybomb. He's one of the more eccentric streamers on Mixer. He's notoriously loud. He is notorious for warning headphone users about his streams. He likes to scream. In fact, he's mentioned that he called himself a screamer rather than a streamer. So we're going to be talking to him about how he keeps his energy levels up, what his secrets are for being so energetic, so loud, and so entertaining throughout 4, 5, 6, 7 hour stream. And it's a great conversation, so I hope that you have listened to it right now. We are back from the technical difficulties that plagued the first 2 minutes of this interview.
No worries, man.
How are you doing today, man?
I'm good. Hanging in there. Just got done playing some PUBG because why not?
Oh man, I set up the hype zone in the background, and I saw that you were playing Fortnite yesterday, so I was like, I'll put Fortnite on, but you pulled a switcheroo on me, dude. I should have put PUBG on back there.
I played Fortnite like when it first launched, for I don't know, a couple months, and then PUBG released on Xbox.
Right.
And I actually used to play PUBG on PC with an Xbox controller.
What? Really?
Which, yeah, people thought I was insane.
I think
but I was still getting chicken dinner, so like it was cool with me.
Damn, really?
Yeah, oh yeah. People they had no idea, how I was doing it. But there was a couple of us on Mixer, probably about 2 or 3 of us that I know of, that were doing that, and it was just to be a little different, to stick out, you know what I mean?
Sure.
We're playing on PC with a game that's not on Xbox yet with an Xbox controller.
Right.
So it was just kind of one of those factors.
Got you.
But I ended up getting pretty good at it.
Nice.
And then when PUBG released on Xbox, I was
No
actually
contest.
number 1 in North America for duos. Yeah.
Is that where that helmet came from?
I didn't like stay on it, you know what I mean, to try to keep up on the leaderboards. But as soon as I hit number 1, I was like,
take that screenshot and save it forever.
Exactly,
mount it on your wall.
Man. You know what I mean? And I held it for a couple days, and then I just got so burnt out from playing it, 12, 15 hours a day.
Yeah,
I was
for
like,
sure.
I just can't do it anymore.
For sure. That's impressive, man. I think.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I love the whole battle royale scene. I love being competitive. I don't play campaign, story mode, any of that on any game ever. I've never completed one like in my entire life.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. Crazy because
you live for the multiplayer. Hey, it's a good thing. It's great for streaming.
So my thing is, video games are meant to be beat. So I want to play somebody that I can't beat. If that makes sense.
Yeah, sort of. You're trying to overcome a challenge.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like I just love playing against other people to know that I'm better than them, not than a computer that was made to be beaten.
Yeah. I
don't know if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely. It's like the tangible reality of like being better at something, than somebody else.
It's like sports and stuff. You know what I mean? Like you know that you'll be better at another team or whatever. So that's kind of my take on gaming as well.
No, that's amazing. The only game that I was ever that good at where I was like nationally ranked was Guitar Hero 3 back in the day. Man, I slated at Guitar Hero. Yeah, my game fell apart, and then I started playing real guitar, which whatever.
Right.
But Guitar Hero 3, like right when it came out, I was at the top of those leaderboards for a couple of those songs, so I was nailing it. But instead of talking about Guitar Hero 3, we should talk about what I wanted to talk to you about. So as I was mentioning earlier before the technical difficulties, with this series, we're trying to talk to Mixer streamers about some of the different aspects of streaming that they're particularly good at. Talking to people like Fielder's Choice about charity, talking to people like Dammit Rooster about like building a brand and stuff like that. So I wanted to reach out to you, Mr. KingBaileybomb, to talk about your high energy streams and how you're able to maintain such high energy during all your streams. I mean, your streams last for, 5, 6 hours, longer than that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the day. It depends on how the energy levels are. I have been known to be pretty wild on stream. I have the slogan that I'm a screamer, not a streamer.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of a fun little marketing, branding type thing.
Sure.
But so the energy levels, I always try to keep them high, try to keep people entertained. I will generally stream, sometimes it's only 4 hours.
Okay, yeah.
Just depends on
still
how,
a long time. I mean,
I guess hyper I am in the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
Lately I've been trying to like mellow out a little bit in the beginning, so that way I can go for about 6-7 hours.
Okay.
Because it's kind of hard to sustain that energy for such a long duration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was easier in real life and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you're not sitting in the same room for 8 hours with somebody. Just
it can be draining.
Doing the same things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's like, you know, I was always the one, you know, that would have the parties and be the life of, you know, whatever was going on. And,
right.
You know,
sure.
I guess I knew from a young age I wanted to be an entertainer. So
yeah.
You know.
So that was going to be my first question, is if it was more of an act, or if it was, you know, your entire life is being this way and being loud and being active. Like it almost makes me feel like you've got like a bunch of siblings, or like you're from like New York or something, and these are just guesses about your personality, but it's that kind of thing, right?
I have a younger sister, older brother.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm in Massachusetts, so I'm kind of close to New York.
Okay,
sure. The whole New England thing, you know,
right.
where I, you know, but yeah, no, you know, off camera, I'm, you know, just as loud.
Really?
Which some people enjoy, some people don't. You know, we're out at a bar or whatever with some friends, and
sure. Like, shut up. You know, you're so loud.
Kind of loud. Yeah, they're like, hey man, people are looking at us. And it's like, that's the point. Like,
I love it.
What, you know what I mean?
Center of attention is me. That's great for streaming, man.
You know, it's it definitely carried over into streaming, but not at first.
Okay, really?
When I first started streaming, I was very quiet, very timid, very didn't want to be judged.
Sure.
You know, and the internet's a scary place.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, and there's a lot of people looking at you, a lot of eyes on you, and I was just afraid to even make a peep, which was obviously terrible for streaming, because I'm just sitting here super quiet, you know, playing NHL or something. And it's like,
yeah.
So, and that's actually, you know, where I started on Mixer. I was playing NHL and I was some quiet kid in the corner.
Really?
Yeah, and you know, I got my first raid by another streamer named FoDaddy. He's a partner streamer on Mixer as well.
Very cool.
But he, you know, he stopped in the stream, he raided, he was like, hey man, you know, I really do see something in you, like personality wise. He's like, just be yourself, like just have fun. Like,
really?
Literally, we are your friends. Go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And after that, I slowly started breaking out of the shell that I had of being like insecure and, you know, everything like that.
Yeah.
And after that, it was just kind of like, I treat everybody like my best friend.
Sure.
So if everybody's my best friend, they're not going to be just judging me. You know, and then over time, you just lose that whole judgment thing in general. You're just like, whatever, you know?
Sure. Yeah, it's tough. It's intimidating. I mean, you think, and I think a lot of new streamers, I've tried streaming just a couple of times, and you think it's going to be just like you, and you're playing video games and you're hanging out and like you interact with the chat and everything. You don't think that you'd be nervous because like you don't see the people right there in front of you. You don't think that you'd be like intimidated and stuff like that. But you see like 1, 2, then you see like 5 concurrent viewers, and you see like 10, and you're like, oh, I'm starting to sweat. I'm getting nervous. And so that's good advice, just to sort of be yourself and hang on to all that.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the best advice I'd ever received. It was actually off of a YouTube video I did after that. I got a comment on it, and they were like, hey man, you sound scripted. Talk to the camera like it's your best friend. They were like, just talk to your camera like it's your best friend.
That's interesting.
And I was like, got it. And from then on, that's what I do.
That's awesome.
And it seems to work pretty well, you know?
I definitely have a problem with that when recording videos. I slip into like broadcaster voice really easily.
Yeah, you get like that. And I say it to everybody. I say it's the YouTube voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, all right, guys, we're back.
Hey, guys, it's back again. Yeah, for sure.
Right, you know what I mean? Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. You know, it's like, I don't know, you just get in like a rhythm when you kind of have something a little bit like, you know, planned out or whatever it may be, kind of scripted, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I love just doing stuff off the top. So like, I don't want to plan ahead. I just want to just go and, you know, see what I can do. Push my limits, push my boundaries, you know?
Yeah, amazing.
That's kind of the most fun I have.
Yeah. Shifting gears just a little bit, what are some of the ways that you do keep your energy level and the energy level of your stream sort of at large high on stream? Like what are some of the call outs and the announcements and things that you do just to keep that energy level up?
I mean, the main thing for me, honestly, I sleep right before my stream.
No way.
If I know that so I know if I'm streaming at, 6 p.m. I'm gonna fall asleep around 2 p.m. and wake up at like 5.
Wow.
And just get a little bit of rest in. And that's usually the streams that I can go 7, 8, whatever hours. And I do this full time, so like I can kind of just make a sleep schedule. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, oh man. And I used to do that too. I worked IT for 14 years.
Oh wow.
So I would work 60-hour weeks, and then come home and try to stream for 3, 4, 5 hours a night, and it was like I was just beat.
It's tough.
And I'd be hyper in the beginning, and then it would just tank.
For sure.
And now that they have so many energy supplements and stuff like that that help a lot. You know what I mean?
What's your preferred? G Fuel, coffee?
I use Gamer Subs.
Okay, very nice.
I mean, they're all competitors. They all do the same thing, kind of.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I use Gamer Subs. Tastes awesome, and I can just throw a little scoop in a water bottle, and bam, I'm ready to go.
What are those made of? Are they healthy at all? We had a conversation with TIE Fighter a bit about them, but I still don't entirely understand. Like, can you drink those every day?
I mean, every brand has different ingredients, all that stuff.
Sure.
Some of them they even say are like performance enhancing and all. Like just I don't know. Everybody's a critic about everything.
Absolutely.
And every brand has something wrong with it. But it's just a ton of caffeine.
Okay.
A ton of caffeine. And it just kind of gets you wired. I used to drink Red Bull religiously. When I was working IT. When I was working IT, I would go through 2 of the 12-ounce cans every day.
It's a lot.
Every single day. Yeah. So it adds up too. It was like $350 a month.
Wow.
Red Bull.
Oh my God, that is a lot.
So I stopped. I needed something that was cheaper and a little bit better for me, I guess. And that's why I switched. Okay. So that's what I drink now. It's a lot cheaper.
Sure.
Like I said, from $350 down to $30-$40 a month.
Okay.
So
I mean,
the savings alone,
good.
And all the brands are all relatively, priced the same. It's not.
Sure. Very nice.
So that helps.
Yeah, cool.
That definitely helps. The other thing is a lot of things that streamers don't realize is when you're talking for 8 hours and you're doing things like that, and me when I'm screaming and jumping around and doing all that stuff. I actually use honey as well. So like I have a bottle of honey.
This was my next question. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I have I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No,
jump,
you nailed it.
on you.
You're saving me the work. I don't even have to ask.
But yeah, so I have a bottle of honey next to me that I will occasionally just pop a little bit in my mouth, and it helps like basically just coat your throat and
dude, that's amazing.
Soother.
That's amazing.
And people always laugh at me on stream. They're like, "Really, this guy has a bottle of honey next to me?" It's like,
is it in like the little bear bottle too, like with the?
No, I get the basic brands, so I don't get the cool stuff.
That's amazing. Yeah, I was gonna ask if it was like tea or if it was honey, because the same thing happens to me. I'll get done with one of these like interviews if they're like half an hour long and I'm like a little raspy at the end of it.
And
that's cool.
After PAX East, I had a time slot in the mixer booth.
Nice.
And we're in a packed place, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I actually had a guy come over to me after my stream, and he was like, "Can you tone it down? We're like 2 booths away and can hear you." And I was like,
"You're like, you haven't seen my streams."
I did my job.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
you don't know what I'm about. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then after that, I literally didn't have a voice for about close to a week.
Wow. Really went for it.
So then after that, I started kind of picking up on, actually really funny. I did some research on like bands that have screamers in the band.
Oh, sure.
And what they do.
Yeah.
To soothe their throat and all that stuff. And I found out lots of water, like just tons of water.
Sure.
And honey.
Really?
I mean, other people have all their alternatives and stuff, but honey is just very
basic, simple, works. Oh man, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to
So
get a bottle of honey in here. That's great.
Yeah, man.
What are some of the benefits? Like, so you say you started out, really, on the more timid side, a little bit quieter, and then you've sort of transformed into like this super high energy, loud streamer. How did you observe that your audience changed during that? Did they like that? Did people come in and be like, "Oh, this dude's too loud, I'm out of here"? Like, what do you see?
Oh yeah, I have that all the time.
Really?
Even regulars will come in and be like, "Got a headache today, can't do it." and like, I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? There's some days I have headaches too, and
sure.
But at the same time, it's also like it's not like I'm literally just screaming the whole time.
Yeah, there's always,
you know
like,
what I mean?
reason.
It's more of
For sure.
something cool happens or whatever it may be. Yeah, I generally tend to be a little bit louder than most people. But that's also to keep your attention. You know what I mean? Generally, people gravitate towards louder noises.
Sure.
You know, hence you're at a concert and, you know what I mean, people love it. They can't even hear the music, they just love it.
Yeah, sure. It's exciting.
So it kind of, I don't know, it made it easier not playing a character. You know, a lot of people on streams play characters and they, like you said, it's kind of like a gimmick. You know what I mean? Like, is it an act or is it a you? And I think it's a lot easier to be yourself. So by me being able to be myself with, you know, a little exaggeration on some parts. Where
of course.
I normally wouldn't jump out of my seat, but sometimes, you know, I would. So it's just kind of a, you know, it's a cool thing to be able to be yourself and have people, you know, like it. Amazing.
What microphone do you use to accommodate that? I feel like there's so many microphones that would either peak or blow out.
I have a Shure mic right now, which still I can still, you know, break this too. But I've been through about 4 or 5 different microphones.
Really?
Kind of not breaking them or anything, but just trying them out and being like, hey, does this sound better? You know, if I do peak and my voice cracks and, you know, I'm screaming at somebody on the screen, does it, you know, how's it sound? Because I was actually doing a bunch of studies on this and seeing what other people have already found. And they found that they would rather watch lesser quality video with better audio than amazing video with lesser quality audio. So once that kind of was a common thing that I was finding, then I was like, you know what, it's time to get a really good mic. It's time to, you know, make that happen. And that's what I went and did.
That's super interesting. I mean, I suppose it makes sense though. If you've got a stream open, you might not be watching it the entire time, right? Like you might not have eyes on fixed the entire time, but you're always listening to it. It's in your headphones or it's around.
YouTube videos, anything. Everyone says if the audio is clear and quality, they'll listen to the video, even if it's kind of fuzzy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So once I kind of started putting that together, I was like, oh, maybe it's time to invest in a good mic instead of a $100 mic. You know?
Sure. Awesome, man. Cool. Well, this has all been some great information, some really useful stuff from the honey trick to the microphone advice and everything in between. I think we've got some good stuff, and hopefully some folks will be able to learn some things from you. Just last question really quick. If you had some advice to somebody who is, you know, getting started in the world of streaming, a little bit nervous to be themselves, a little bit, you know, couldn't quite get on their feet, what would be some advice for that person?
I mean, honestly, if you're a shy, timid person, I mean, you can put on an act. Yes, everybody, you know, there's some very large streamers that put on an act, you know, every day they get on camera. But I think the easiest way to get into streaming is just being yourself. And like I said, talking to your camera like it's your best friend. You know, if you can do that, you can talk to anybody because everybody on the other end is your best friend.
Amazing.
And you can tell them anything, you can act however you want, and, you know, they're all gonna, you know, judge you the same kind of thing.
Of course.
So that was the best advice ever given to me. So if I can pass that on to anybody else and they can benefit from it, it's just being yourself and, you know, talking like you're talking to your best friends.
Amazing.
I hear people going wild on their, you know, Xbox party chat and stuff.
Sure.
But then as soon as they're on the camera, they're like, you know,
yeah, absolutely.
Be the person you are with your friends.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? They like you for that reason. So why wouldn't other people?
Amazing. You know? Alrighty, KingBaileybomb, this has been fantastic. Thanks so much for sitting down and doing this with me. It was great. Where can people find your content? Where should people go?
Definitely mixer.com/KingBaileybomb.
Perfect.
That's my main focal point of just about everything. So
amazing, man. Well,
if not, Twitter's always a huge thing for helping people out.
What's the Twitter name?
Which is at KingBaileybomb as well.
Same thing, same exact thing. Awesome, man. Well, I'll toss those links up on the screen. Hopefully people will come by and check you out. Yeah, other than that, are you coming to PAX West?
I'm going to try my hardest. I just signed up for the, you know, media badge, and
We'll see you there.
Once that's approved, I will book my flight.
Amazing, man. Well, we will catch up then, and we'll be in contact as we continue to like roll out more updates and stuff like that. We'll always let you know. But yeah,
awesome,
thanks for jumping on the chat.
I appreciate everything.
Of course. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you.